Everybody, welcome back to the best conversation you're gonna hear all day, because you probably have had boring conversations all day and you're not gonna get that one today. Welcome back to SaviTalk, a show rooted in conversation. And we're gonna dive into all the things about identity security. And we're gonna solve them all for you, because that's what we do. It's me and Enrique, once again.
You and I, man.
It's you and me, man.
I miss Jim Ralph.
I do miss Jim. I don't miss Simon.
Simon?
Just kidding, Simon.
No, come on, guys, come back.
But I miss Jim. You know what I miss most about Jim? I miss
What?
playing pickleball with Jim.
And
Like,
I can't talk about wine like Jim can.
okay, I'm just, that is true. Nobody can talk about wine the way Jim can. Like,
Nobody.
wine, pickleball, like that is Jim Ralph, like all day. Guys, when I tell you this dude is a absolute monster on the pickleball court, it is phenomenal to watch. We need an internal Savient pickleball tournament, but we have to handicap Jim. Jim has to play by himself, so somebody else can have a chance. He's so good. He's so good. Good conversation we're having today.
Yes, I hear two guests.
Two guests, right?
Yes.
We're getting popular, man. People want to be on the show now.
Man,
so
two for
it's,
two. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit of content, like Sachin says.
Just a little bit,
A little bit.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we got to bring sexy back to our back. Is that what we're doing?
Oh my God. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, David.
All right.
Bring it
So
on.
I'm not even gonna tell you who our guest, because I'm gonna wait until we get there and we're gonna introduce him. See you in a second. All right. So like we said, we got two guests this time,
Yeah.
because this is the most popular show that's out there, except for another one. But we won't talk about that one. We are welcoming Tim York and Aaron Lentz from IC Consult. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you.
All right.
just
let's
stoked
think,
to be part of the popular group.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And I think we're balancing out without Simon. The wardrobe game is up again, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. You guys look sharp.
Very much so. Very much so.
Above you guys. Keep up.
Listen, man,
With him,
we
right?
just try and set a nice pace, right? You know what I mean? Just like it's a nice little ride. We just set the pace, man. That's all. Nothing too fancy.
I don't know. I think we're gonna make this more like competitive. I heard you guys talking about pickleball a second ago. So we got the
Listen.
little team over here.
That's Jim.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, we got a ringer.
Okay,
We got a ringer.
let's do it.
Jim Ralph, man. I'm trying to tell you, this guy.
Aaron, we got to pick a sport we can actually.
So we have these two amazing looking guys here today. I know you guys work at IC Consult, but what do you do there?
Well, first and foremost, IC Consult, we are an identity services delivery vehicle.
Okay.
We only focus on digital identities, whether it's human or non-human, and we deploy and sell products and tools for our customers like Savient, like your complete portfolio. We sell those, your portfolio to our customers, and we deploy and manage and advice. And so my specific role, I run the channel and the relationships with partners like Savient. I also focus very highly on the distribution channel, so the big DMRs, the resellers of the world, like the CDWs and SHIs.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool. So I'm VP of Advisory and Strategy. I'm a second generation identity guy. So my dad.
I do strategy too, man.
Yeah. Hey, good job, us. Words. We just say a lot of words. Actually, my dad did it before me. Owned a company, Logic Trends. So I don't know how many people are actually second generation identity.
I was gonna like, dude, are you like the only? You can't be the only one, but
Surely
like,
not.
it's gotta be. I don't know. It's gotta be like a small fraternity of you guys.
I have not found anybody else. So I've found some from inside of tech and second generation identity. But no,
Right.
so I was learning about identity when I was 8 years old. So from my dad, and just him coming home and telling his horror stories to us about how people have to change their passwords and why don't people have SSPR, that kind of stuff from the 90s.
And you as a kid said, wow, I want to work with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. I know I was a theater major, and I said, I can't spend 18-hour days in the dark all the time. So instead, I'm going to go deal with this mess. So I
Spend 15 hours in the dark.
yeah, exactly. So I do, from learning of all that and getting to know people in the industry early on, I learned pretty quick that the tools have changed a lot. So I was pretty fortunate. I'm still younger in the identity industry overall, but I got to see a lot about the tools, and all the ones my dad talked about don't exist anymore, or the ones were.
Do you remember any of the names?
So they do exist. I shouldn't play it too bad, but so CA was a big thing. He was doing a lot of stuff with Novell back in the day. I mean, when
Who was that? Maybe I know him. Man.
Philip Lentz. He,
Okay.
yeah, he owned him and Kinstone owned a company called Logic Trends. They built their own identity
I
platform.
remember Logic. Remember that name. This is crazy, dude.
So you were born in identity. How about you, Tim? How did you get into identity?
I was born naturally. Well,
Was he section?
Yeah. The funny thing is I actually joke. So my first child was born via surrogacy, and I actually joked that he was born in the cloud, and that the true cost.
You downloaded a kid.
We download him, and to take him back and put him on prem was the actual real cost of the thing there. No, so
God.
it's interesting. I kind of came through identity through tech, and right out of college, I worked for in the tech space, big manufacturers, HP and Oracle and others, and they kind of found my way into identity. But what's really interesting, and Aaron and I talk about this a lot. Aaron was born and raised within identity, as Ninja's heard. I kind of found it, the last 10 or 12 years via the tech industry. But our passions around identity are equal. We're both very, very passionate about identity, but it's the human side of identity, not the product or the features and functions and the tools, but it's actually the human side, which was the genesis of our podcast.
Yes.
Authenticate This.
I was going to bring it up. And yes, the human side of it's Authenticate This. That's the name of your podcast, right?
Correct.
So how long has it been running?
Yeah, so we actually just launched this year, so January of 25. And we have plans to go indefinitely. We're releasing one episode a month. And we are specifically interviewing identity professionals, but we're targeting CISOs. And, obviously we're 5 or 6 months into the year. We've done a bunch of interviews of a bunch of CISOs, and we've uncovered some really unique and fun trends.
Yeah.
Some unexpected trends, and obviously some trends that we're all talking about in the future that we're seeing and understanding, but some very cool findings.
Before we jump into the amazing things that, because I'm curious about that and learning about what are you hearing from your guests, but because you are both employees at IC Consult, right? Is in professional services and reseller. Is there any conflict, right, on your day jobs at IC Consult and the podcast? Because we're basically doing this today. So I'd love to hear. So is there any time where if you found a conflict or any challenges or how you went by to make it work?
Yeah, I'll start. So we do the same kind of thing as you guys do. It's all about thought leadership.
Yeah.
And that was the genesis of what we're doing, and for us to agree into the podcast and starting it, because as you guys know, it's a lot of work to do a podcast. So behind the scenes. So we said, look, thought leadership, we're in. So we're not, necessarily selling IC Consult like you guys aren't selling Savient, right? So it's just like, how do we bring in guests and generate sort of buzz in the industry and get people thinking the right way? And so we don't have a lot of conflicts on that part. What's interesting though is the amount of conflicts we get to talk about with our guests. So not necessarily for us, but like just in talking with them, like what they've had to overcome and what they're seeing inside of their own, with their teams, with their partners, or with their business partners. Just getting to talk through some of that, see their different styles, which is pretty amazing to see just how many different ways somebody can solve some of the same problems. So no real conflict for what we do.
So they kind of they motivate.
Because we're so focused on the human side of identity, we highlight what the best CISOs are doing, right? They're influencing and changing their organization from within many times without buying products or tools. And so Savient, you guys are in business selling software. We're in business selling and deploying your software. And so the conflict is this. We're talking with CISOs, and they're coaching other CISOs on our podcast on how to get things done
without buying
tools, right? And so it's focused on the human side. Obviously, we do reap some benefits because tools are inevitable. Our customers have to buy these tools.
But I love those low-hanging fruit things. Like, hey, it's a quick fix. It could be a high impact, low cost. I think those are amazing as well, right? So you got to balance those out.
Yeah, and even when they buy tools, if you focus on the human side to deploy and roll that tool out, you have higher levels of success. And so for us, it's like we want to coach the identity human side. We also want to sell identity tools, but the outcomes are always going to be the same. It's whether you focus more on humans or tools.
But see, the crazy thing about that though, right? We're in this time now with like all this content. The authenticity of that matters so much because you can hear from you can hear from different CISOs and peers, like, how do I solve this? How do I go about this, right? And I think one of the things we're missing, I will say the niche of identity and then security in general, security's gotten better at this, is we don't share enough of that stuff. We don't share enough of how do I handle this? How do I go against this? We don't have enough of those peer groups that can relate on and learn from, because we're stuck in this fallacy of like, well, I don't want to say this and they'll get this or whatever. It's like, newsflash, like the bad guys already know how to get there, whether or not you share it or not.
Yeah.
Who you're hurting is your actual peers, right? And us as an industry to get better to learn from it. So I love that, you guys are focusing on that. And actually, you guys interviewed one of my buddies, Rich Rhodes.
Oh, love Rich.
Rich is so good.
He
had a
know he
conflict.
was, man.
Speaking of conflict, he wanted to come and be part of this today. Was not able to make it, but Rich is awesome.
I'm gonna text him right after we're done.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
I feel a little jealous, but okay.
I mean, I don't to tell you, man. People like me more. I'm just kidding. No, Rich is. You got to meet Rich though. Rich is hilarious, man, and he is. I met him a couple of years ago. Like he's one of the few leaders that I've met that I think he was aimed then for the trajectory he's on now, like become a CISO and really kind of be one of those difference makers. Because Rich comes in and one of the first thing he does is like, he focuses on his people. Like, what do I have around me? Let me make sure I put the team in the right order. But he also like, he doesn't mess around. He gets right to, this is what we need to solve. And I got to go figure out how am I going to explain to the business and make them so they can understand, like, this is what we got to do, period, right? And I love that, right? I think he's going to be he already is a great CISO. I think he's going to be a great leader in this industry if he decides to do more stuff outside of that. I'd love for him to do it, but everybody teaches his own, but no, he's a great person.
Well, you're invited to the show next time.
Yeah, Rich, you're getting a text. You're getting a text. You're coming on.
When we invite him to the show, can we have him bring one of his costumes? Have you heard that story?
Oh, wow.
So funny.
I'm intrigued. Okay.
Spill it.
I guess it'll be me that spills it. We should have him tell the story, but
That's true.
he told the story on our podcast, and I love this about Rich is he was so focused on his people during COVID, and he was like, I got to cheer him up, but I can't go in live. So he would show up to his weekly team call in a different costume. Like every single week, a completely different costume. It could be a blow-up costume or a sexy outfit or a silly outfit, a kid outfit. Like he showed us a couple of the pictures, but the team would all get together and turn their cameras on because they were excited to see what Rich is wearing for the day. And then he would turn his camera on for the whole team to see. And then
This is brilliant, right? Especially because you guys talked about the human side of identity. Because man, come on, let's be honest. It's not a sexy topic to talk about, and how you even bring people in, how we build communities, right?
Yeah.
Things like Identity Beer and the things you guys do in your own podcast. I think it's about building that community, and they make this an important thing in your life. So what are the things in your show that you hear that's okay, this is perhaps one of those low-hanging fruits or advices that you heard that say, hey, yeah, this is kind of different. Like, I love the example of the costumes. Anything else pops to mind that you hear, okay, this could be moving the needle. This could be making a difference. How identity is being seen today or adopted today.
Yeah, a lot of it goes to what Tim was saying about, like, if we first start with building a team, recognizing that everybody's involved as a human. We could talk in this podcast we want about where tools actually fit into an identity program and moving it forward. Because arguably a lot of the tools can do a lot of the same things, but there are wielders of the tools that are humans. And so if you can't get those, humans,
Can you say that again?
the wielder of the tools are the humans.
Oh, yeah, man, you're a poet.
Who knew it? Words. Strategy. Yeah, I did it. Jazz hands. Yeah, and so if you can't get those humans to be on your side or on the same side, you'll hear Tim talk a lot, both when we talk about to our clients, to our partners, internally, he talks about this idea of purpose. And so if you can't get a group of people to find a purpose to move forward with, whatever that is, you're not going to be successful. And so when we talk to all of our guests, we talk about what is their purpose, what purpose do they find in their teams. And sometimes, like, we can say, look, like, I'm here for money, I'm here to get a paycheck. Okay, that's an individual purpose, whereas a team purpose, a team goal. And a lot of times people start painting their first reactions like, it's to get off Forefront Identity Manager, speaking of older platforms, right? And to go to whatever. That's not a real purpose, right? And so sometimes it's like, okay, what does my business do? What drives my business? My purpose is to support our sales teams. It's to you can say a larger purpose of protecting the company, but the company is the company.
It's a platitude, right? Thing, yeah.
But if I can say my team's purpose is to do something to support other humans, then you've built a synergy across humans.
That's the why, right? And I remember it brings me back to my Gartner days when I was a Gartner analyst, and I was being pitched by all these amazing startups, but they just came in, boom, right into this is the solution, best features. So, man, but what's the purpose? And that's the key word that I kept bringing to those conversations. What's the problem you're solving? You got to start there and be enamored, be in love with the problem. Then you can, okay, you earn the right to talk about the solution, how you solve it, right?
I talked a second ago about being in theater. Something funny happened to me once. I was in there. We've got interns or whatever who come in and help, and it was simply just trying to connect.
Did you work in theater?
I did lots of theater. Yeah, I was a lighting designer. Did some carpentry work. It was a good time, but
We should see his office.
Oh, my office. Oh, David, you would love my office. Star Wars office.
I know, man.
Oh, man.
But that's not Star Wars like action figures and stuff. No, it is a spaceship. Inside of it's a spaceship.
It is a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it's called the Carbon Shadow.
Okay.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little tour of that later. But so in this theater stuff, I needed to connect two flats together. So we used a scab. We're trying to get a scab together with out of the side of this platform, and had the nails, but didn't have a hammer. And so I was looking around for a claw hammer somewhere. As we're going, couldn't figure it out. So somebody runs and grabs something, comes in with a ball peen hammer that works metal. Claw hammers are supposed to hammer in nails and take out nails. It's secondary feature of a claw hammer is to rip out nails.
Right.
Secondary feature of a ball peen hammer is to shape metal. Both of them can hammer in nails. And so as a tool, it was able to serve this human's purpose to do X. And so when we talk about the larger platforms and larger tools, when I talk to vendors, I say, what is your overarching purpose? What is that secondary feature that brings value to the humans wielding you? And so it's not necessarily, because they all have the same primary purpose. How do I help humans, and how do I help humans help other humans?
I love it because going back to how dry identity can be as a topic, right? And I'm a big fan of analogies. So two things you said, right? So the purpose coming first and the analogies second. Any great analogies that you've seen other leaders or you perhaps with your clients that you approach to explain or perhaps simplify the concepts and identity that come to mind?
I actually heard a really good analogy the other day around how to explain the impact of AI. And it ties back to kind of our pitch about the reason for humanizing identity. And so I heard this on another podcast, The Diary of a CEO, excellent podcast.
Okay.
And there was a panel of 4 or 5 experts within AI. And one of them, the analogy was this, that imagine if we discovered an 8th continent on the earth. And on that continent, there was 1 billion people. And those 1 billion people all wanted to work remote. And every one of them had a PhD and an MBA.
Just one.
One MBA, a PhD and MBA, 1 billion people wanting to work remote. Oh, and by the way, they want to work for, or they're willing to work for $20 an hour. What would that impact now have on the globe, right? If a new continent, remote workers, 1 billion people. So that's kind of the idea of AI. And what's interesting is none of us really truly know what the impact of AI is going to be. We're all speculating, but we all know it's going to be big and it's going to be different. It's going to be impactful.
Yeah.
Because of that, that elevates the need for human intelligence, right? And the best leaders, not just identity or security, but especially within identity security, the very best leaders that emerge in the future are going to be the ones that focus on the human side, because they're the ones that are differentiated and different than the rest of the world. And they're the ones that everyone's going to want to go work for and be part of those teams. And so as AI grows and scales like we don't understand, human intelligence becomes more and more and more important. And so that's why we think in the next couple of years, it's going to be the best leadership skill that everyone's going to want to go after. They're not going to care about certifications and MBAs. I mean, they will, right?
Yeah.
Those skills matter. Education matters, but it really is the human side. So your IQ doesn't matter as much as your EQ anymore.
Man.
Because we all have access to
He's strategy too. Yeah, strategy. Wow. I'm so glad we're working again because, Man, and speaking of skills, I think, well, look at Aaron, right? Those type of skills, art, and I think we were talking about this just earlier than this, which is, if AI comes in, there's the fear of job replacement, all this kind of stuff, right? So we don't know what's going to happen with this billion synthetic new workers in the workplace, right? But the effects in culture, I think there's a whole different level of content individualization that we can today create pictures the way we like, we can create music the way we like, we can create new series. Can you imagine, okay, create a new episode of a Star Wars series that I never saw just for me. I think this is within reach.
Yeah, it's very much.
There's something interesting.
Gemini VO3, like
Create an episode and the hero is me, or the hero is David Lee, right? And I think the danger with that is that if content, and I want to ask you this question, do you think, how important is culture in our survival as civilization? I know it's a deep question, because as AI make this content as personalized as it can, how can we have shared experiences? If I'm watching my own episode of Star Wars, right? Only I like the jokes because I wrote the jokes with AI for me. So how do you see civilization evolving in this situation where culture, and is culture fundamental for that?
I think there's two ways it could go. So first off, if you talk about art. Art, all good art is a theft of art before it and ideas before it. If you guys like Lion King is just a rebranding of the story of Hamlet from William Shakespeare. And so people are interested in a lot of the same stories and are interested in an art changing and are interested in the art before them. And so if I think about even in AI, I think people are still going to be interested in seeing other art. If I just talk about the art piece further, people like seeing live music. I can't handle loud noises. So for me, I'm not a big live music. People love it. So one way it's going to go, like I say, AI is going to always be able to, people are always going to adjust and build new cultures. Like the internet built tons of new subcultures.
Right.
The world became so much smaller. Man, I miss, I'm sure, the small communities where you could be a hero. But you get bigger ones and it changes, and you find the people you like. I mean, you talk about our political environment, how that's changed with these sub-communities. The second way, so I think people enjoy conflict and enjoy finding their own communities. So that AI can't, in my opinion, undo, unless people are willing to use AI as their only community and not have face-to-face interaction. So now that can change when, in 50, well, maybe not 50 years, with quantum computing and robotics, right? Then I can have murder bots, right? If you guys like murder bot.
I'll take your more optimistic version.
I got optimistic versions.
Yeah, I like
murder bots.
Have you watched Murderbot?
I haven't watched Murder.
Okay, the book is amazing.
Okay, wait. The Apple TV series?
Yes, it's TV series. The books are really good. TV series, hilarious.
Okay. I'll read the books though. But I did watch maybe 15 minutes. It was a little slow for me, but I was like, I'll probably get back into it.
The book's probably kind of you got to look at books in the net. I don't know why I'm advertising Murderbot, but great, go after Murderbot. Cool. You have a take on that?
I just want I want to deviate from murder bots and get them
Back to the identity.
well, back to your question on the importance of culture.
Culture, yeah.
Right.
Culture, in my opinion, will be the number one feature, right? And you always hear this, people go, I want to go work for this company because of the culture. It's not because you get sodas and potato chips in the break room. It's how you feel on a Sunday before you show up to work on a Monday.
Exactly.
And you have that dread, or if you're excited to come to work and be with your friends and your people that you're trying to accomplish the same goals. And so because everybody's getting better, imagine resumes. Everyone's gonna have AI write their resumes. How do you know who's good or not without seeing that person live and communicating? And culture, purpose-driven culture especially, right? When you bring people together on a bigger cause, and that's when you really start to accomplish huge, huge goals. And so I see a lot of companies emerging. The ones with culture are going to be the ones that are the most successful.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I genuinely believe that. I think it's the number one. It's the number one thing people ask for now, but we're not getting it in companies yet, right? We're moving to that direction, and so because AI is taking over, human intelligence needs to ramp up, and both need to be elevated for those organizations.
Let's pause on that and soapbox for a second about culture.
You had 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Okay, so 15 seconds. Oh man, Rich Rhodes, we talked about him, worked with Scott Strander. So we also worked with him too on one of the podcasts, and he talked about culture and that people are using culture as a buzzword. And culture is actually about community, understanding specific people in that community.
Thank you.
And so we use it, and it's not just our industry. Everybody's talking about culture.
Everybody
and
does.
So for us to really understand the impact of culture and the purpose of it in our identity programs, we have to understand the specific people involved within an enterprise, where they came from, what their day-to-day lives are like. So we talk about things like even the hiring process, the most basic part of identity that's been around since its inception. The hiring process, when you talk about digital identities, if it takes me 30 days to give somebody access, they just made a huge life choice to switch their jobs, and they show up and they can't do their jobs. They're not necessarily, like, they're afraid that they are not making their boss, they're not doing their job, and they're going to get fired, and they can't do what's right for their families. Like, culture is more than the culture. It is the individuals within an enterprise.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to end it there. We could talk for hours, clearly. You guys are welcome back anytime.
I think we need another episode.
So fun. This was fun. Man, I told you this was going to be the best conversation you had all day. I told you. I told you that it's that. But listen, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Aaron, for coming out, hanging out with us. Guys, that's it. That's a wrap for another Rooted Conversation.
I love it, guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Cheers.
Fun times.
Dude, a second-generation identity person.
That's a first for me.
That's a first for me, too.
Yeah. And what a fun couple of guys, eh?
Yeah, right? Like,
Man,
who knew where that conversation was going?
I feel like
I'm glad it went there.
I feel like we just scratched the surface. I want them back.
I do too. I think getting them back and having a whole like deep dive discussion, like I love where you're going, like with the culture of it, whatever the companies, AI, like those guys are good guys.
Yeah, there was a post I made on LinkedIn on that, and the interest around this, because there's the fear of AI destroying or replacing jobs, but I think this is a much more stronger pillar to our society and humans. And I love the way their own podcast is about the humans side of identity.
Right.
So I think you got to have a balance. I've been talking about this type of hybrid intelligence.
Yeah.
Human intelligence, artificial intelligence, like hybrid cloud. We had hybrid cloud. Hybrid intelligence.
Could be a thing. All right.
Could be a thing.
We'll wrap up, man.
Thank you.
Let's go have some fun.
I miss Jim Routh.
I always miss Jim. Okay. Simon, we miss you too.
We miss him, Simon.
All right, till next time, everybody. We'll see you guys.